Hello everybody, Adam Morales here again, and welcome to another unboxing video. During the month of September of this year, I went to a Dare with Thomas event with my family, and I got some souvenirs, 2 wooden railway items, and 1 Trackmaster item. And during one of my trips at Walmart, there were 2 push-along items of the 80th anniversary. And since I found them, I was like, I'm gonna get these before they're out of stock. And I'm gonna go through each of them one by one, from the smallest to the biggest. To start things off, here are the 2 Walmart items I got, which are the Push-Along Thomas and the Push-Along Percy. I was originally gonna get the other Trackmaster items, but since these were the only Thomas items that weren't related to All Engines Go, I decided to go with these. Now then, let's unbox these. Alright, here's Thomas. Let's get out Percy next as well. Alright, here's Percy. Alright then folks, now that we got Thomas and Percy out, let's review them. Let's first start off with Thomas. First of all, I love that Thomas has side rods on this model because unlike previous models like this Thomas, he doesn't have any side rods. And I also like the whistle right here because in this model, I'm not so sure if you can see it, but the whistle here looks a bit squashed. And the same thing with the dome too. This one's pretty small, but this one looks more accurate. I also love the details from the number 1 on each of the sides and the shape of his funnel. Mattel really took their time when making this Thomas model because this is the most accurate Thomas in a long time, at least with the push-along items. Nothing too special about the back aside from the lamp, which I'm glad they did that to add more detail. I also like the coal here because same thing as the previous model, this one looks squashed. Now then, and here it says Thomas. That's good. Let's look at the face. I like how Thomas is making I think it's a cheeky face and looking to his right, which I think is overall good. It's like he's making it, oh my goodness, how silly. Though, one minor fault that I would say about Thomas is he doesn't have windows near where his whistle's at. I could definitely see why they didn't do it on the backside because the coal would overlap on the windows. But at the same time, it would have looked a little good. And also, with the side rods on Thomas, when you try to move him, you can see the side rods stay in their same spot and they don't move. Which to me, it looks like Thomas is trying to brake to a halt. But I think this model is still good. One more thing, I also love how they painted the buffers, which that's a great detail. In previous Trackmaster models, like in the Revelation, they always left the buffers unpainted. Though for the back buffers, they're pretty much unpainted. Not sure why they did that, but that's alright with me. It's not it's not too much of a difference to me. Alright, now let's move on to Percy. And this is my first Percy push-along item that I have. Let's look at the model itself first. First of all, like Thomas, I love the details. Like like the dome, to the whistle, to the boiler, the number 6, and then he has the 4 wheels. Nothing too much on the back. He doesn't have a back lamp like Thomas, but it still looks pretty good. And like Thomas, he also has static side rods. And when you try to move him, the side rods, the side rods stay in the same position. Oh, and look at this. Not so sure if you can see this correctly, but if you look inside Percy's cab, you can see a firebox in there, which I think that's awesome. Since Thomas's cab is so small, it's hard to tell if you just to see if a firebox is in there, but this is a great detail that Percy has that wouldn't be noticeable. And unlike Thomas, Percy's buffers are painted both in the back and the front, which that stands out a little more. Like Thomas, I also have the problem with Percy's windows not being there, but it's not too much of a difference. Though the biggest disadvantage that I would say for this model is his eyes, because in my opinion, they look pretty big. It's like he's trying to do the All Engines Go impression, or like his puppy eyes impression. And when I look at it like Thomas is like, "Oh, Percy, I bet you can't make your eyes that big." And Percy's like, "Oh, I'll show you." And then he does these eyes. And with Thomas rolling his eyes, he's like, "Oh, Percy, that's just silly." I'm just doing that. And like Thomas, he also has his name. So I'm glad I got these items at Walmart, because they don't have any more of these Percys. But at the time I'm making this video, there were only Thomas models left. Alright, now for my final thoughts on these items. Do I recommend these? Well, it honestly depends. If you're a fan of push-along items and are looking for some 80th anniversary stuff, then yes, I recommend these. However, if you're only interested in collecting new characters, or the motorized models that are coming out, I would probably skip these. But for my final score, I give Thomas an 8 out of 10 and Percy an 8.5 out of 10. Now then, let's move on to the next item. Alright, here's the first wooden railway item that I got from the Dale with Thomas event. And this may be an item you won't be expecting. And this is the Sodor Mint car. Yeah, a pretty weird item if you ask me. I was originally gonna get that 2025 Dale with Thomas toy, but since I found out it was a UK exclusive, and since the wooden railway item had finished, I decided to get this. Let's open this up. And here we go. Here's the Sodor Mint car. And as you can see in the packaging, it has the Explore the Rails on the packaging and on the item, which that's supposed to be referencing a Thomas exhibit in different parts of the US and Canada. Interesting. If you look inside this cargo car, it has some mints, which I think that's cool. I'm not so sure how a mint car was invented for the wooden railway line, but I think it's interesting. I think the choice of colors this item has is a cool choice. I mean, the wheels are dark blue, the item is light blue, and the roof is red. And as you saw when I was unboxing the item can easily be taken apart, which that it says to build your own cargo car. Sorry if you can't see this pretty well. Besides then, it also has the mint car right over here. And if you look on the back, it says, "The island of Sodor, depart of treasury." That's cool. I didn't think Wooden Railway would add this. There's nothing too much to say about this item, but I think that it's pretty decent for my overall thoughts. But I think that this item is pretty cool to add to your collection, so I'm kind of in the middle of the road for this. Because it's definitely cool. Just be careful to not lose any of these pieces, because without them, it would pretty much be useless. But I still think this item is a cool addition. As for my rating, I'm giving it a 6.5. It may not be the best Wooden Railway item, like I keep saying, but it's definitely not the weakest. Now then, let's go with another Wooden Railway item. Alright then, here's the last Wooden Railway item, which is the 2022 Wooden Railway item, the Dale with Thomas toy. Like the mint car, since this was also at the gift shop and the Wooden Railway line was discontinued, and since that Wooden Railway Thomas toy for 2025 of this year was a UK exclusive, I decided to get this one too. And by the looks of it, it looks pretty colorful. Let's open this up for more detail. And here it is. Alright then, let's look at the model. I like Thomas's face, with him looking to his left, and the smile that he has. He looks like he's making a smug, cheeky face to me. And let's look at the sides, and oh my gosh, he looks colorful. I mean, from the shooting star, the colors, stripes on the top of his boiler, and his wheels. On this side, it's navy dark blue, like the mint car, gold, pink, green, yellow, and sky blue. And on the roof, he has some stars on the top of his cab, which, unlike the later models, where this Thomas right here has the Dale with Thomas logo on top of the cab. Same thing for the 2024 model. This model has it near where his cab is. That's an interesting difference. Not so sure why Mattel moved it to the top of the cab, but I think they did that to make more room for the details. And if you can see right where his cab's in, you can see that there are some blue lines around where his dome is. I think that's cool. And from what I heard on the color of the wheels, they're supposed to be different with each model. Like the colors are supposed to be on different spots. From what I heard, I think. Overall, with my thoughts on this model, I think it's cool. While I wasn't intending on getting this, and I was going to do it from the 2023 item onwards, but I decided to get this just so that way my collection for the Dale with Thomas items for the new Wooden Railway line would be complete. And for my thoughts, I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely a great item. Now then, woohoo! Let's see what the last item is, which this will be the first motorized item and the only motorized item of this unboxing video. Alright, here's the best item I saved for last that I got from the Day Out with Thomas event. Drumroll, please. It is this Day Out with Thomas motorized item for the 80th anniversary. I saved the best for last, didn't I? When I saw this item in the gift shop, and since there weren't any other motorized items, aside from the All Engines Go stuff at Walmart, I quickly got this item. And you can see that on here it says exclusive in different languages, which immediately says that this was an exclusive item to the Day Out with Thomas event. Alright, let's open this baby up. There we go. Here it is, folks. Let's first look at the troublesome truck. For one thing, let's see his face. Instead of being a troublesome face like this tanker, he's looking pretty happy. Troublesome trucks may not be happy about their jobs, and they may be troublesome, pun intended, but I think this is a good face. And more importantly, here are the sides, which show cake frosting on them. And I think that's a great detail to go on the truck, especially since it goes along with this Thomas. Though, one thing I wish Mattel could have added into this item, at least in my opinion, is some cargo, like a cake, similar to that Happy Birthday Thomas wooden railway item. But then again, it's just my opinion. Now, let's look at the best part of this item, Thomas. I love how big this item of Thomas is. He looks so accurate to how he looks in the TV series. I like his face expression, similar to how the actual Trackmaster item of this model is, since he's looking to his right. Nothing too much to say on the back, except he has that back lamp, similar to how this push-along Thomas is. Let's look at the top, which, like the troublesome truck, he also has cake icing. And if you look closely where his cab is, you can just make out icing on the windows. At first, when I looked at this, I thought that it was just like the sticker peeling off, but knowing that it's frosting, it makes much more sense. One minor disadvantage I would say about this model are the buffers. Both in the back and the front are unpainted. But then again, I'll do it on my own, so it's no problem. And the whistle, unlike the push-along item where it's yellow, that it's fully painted, this one is fully unpainted. Not so sure why they did that, but I think it's maybe to cut costs. But the best part of this item is the sides. It looks so awesome because it has party on both sides and confetti, which it goes along perfect with the rest of the item. And with the troublesome truck, unlike other troublesome truck items that I've gotten recently, where they tilt side to side, this troublesome truck, meanwhile, stays straight. Like the wheels don't move side to side. Like Ramaful said, it's good that Mattel was doing that, making the wheels tilt side to side to give the trucks more personality. But I think this is good too. Do I recommend this model? Absolutely. If you're a fan of the motorized items, as well as the Dale with Thomas stuff, then I highly recommend you pick this stuff up. As for my rating, it's definitely getting a 10 out of 10 stars. Well, that's all the time I have for today, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.